So, guys, today I'm going to discuss another important M.Ed topic, social and cultural change. Okay, so under this social and cultural change, we will discuss what is the meaning of social change. Okay, what is the nature and characteristics of social change, and after that, we will discuss what are the factors, वो कौन से फैक्टर्स हैं which affects the social change. Okay, what are the factors influencing the social change. Okay, and here you have to remember, whatever the factors I will discuss, the same factor would be in cultural change, right? Because social change kya hai, it is a part of the cultural change. Okay, then we will discuss about role of education in social change. After that, we will discuss meaning and definition of cultural change, nature, characteristics, and in last, we will discuss what is the role of education in bringing social change. Right, guys? So now we first with the meaning and definitions of social change. Okay, see the one picture I'm going to show you. See this picture. Okay, what you expect from these pictures. Okay, what you are getting in your mind, what is happening, okay, after looking that picture. So guys, this is basically, you are looking that number of a person, they are talking with each other, huh? They are communicating with each other. You never know, who are the persons. Okay, suppose you are in America, Canada, or you are anywhere else, you are talking with the person. So basically what is happening when two person discuss with each other, so there is a social change. Okay, social change tab aata hai when two persons talks with each other, two persons talks their philosophy, their belief, their customs, their religion. Okay, one person comes to know philosophy of other persons comes to know this person, so social change comes, right? So social change kya hai, what is social change? Society is subject to constant change. क्या बात है, it is a very good. Society is subject to constant change means change is the law of nature. The term social change refers to the changes taking place in human society. And guys, change is the law of nature. Whatever technique we are using today, we were not using 50 years back. For example, I'm teaching you with the help of a Zoom. It was not possible from 20 years back, 50 years back. So social change means changes taking place in the human society. Okay, further और समझते हैं इसको. Social change refers to the alteration or changes in social relationship among people, right? It refers to the change in social structure like role or status of a person. It refers to the modification or improvement made in certain living style. Social change is the part of the broader change, which is actually cultural change, right, guys? So I understand you. I clear you about the social change. Basically, society, number of societies in the world. Okay, so every society is growing. Okay, so how they are growing? They are growing due to the social change, due to the change. When the change comes, some of the society growing at a very fast speed, but some society grows at a very slow speed. But social change is, every society is subject to the social change. Okay, गिन्सबर्ग की एक डेफिनेशन भी है. गिन्सबर्ग क्या कहते हैं? बाय सोशल चेंज आई अंडरस्टैंड ए चेंज इन सोशल स्ट्रक्चर, राइट? यानी कि पूरी सोसाइटी में जो भी चेंज आ रहा है, गिन्सबर्ग कहते हैं आई अंडरस्टैंड ए चेंज इन सोशल स्ट्रक्चर, द साइज ऑफ ए सोसाइटी, the composition or balance of its part or the type of its organizations. Okay, so guys, basically here we have to understand what type of a changes comes in the society, right? So you have to be very careful. Okay, you have to listen carefully what I'm going to tell you. Basically, according to the sociologist, there are two type of a changes, right? Two type of a changes mostly occurs in the society. One is called materialistic change. one is called non-materialistic change, right guys? Materialistic change क्या होता है? Okay, when new bank is when new road is made by the government, new bank is made by the government, new temple, mosque, church, such kind of a things, tools, furniture, objects are made by the man. This is called the materialistic change, right? These are called materialistic object. And second is a non-materialistic. Non-materialistic includes the customs, belief, your kind of आपका जो blind faith, आपके faiths हो गए हैं, rituals, ceremonies, right? These are called non-materialistic things. Okay, so there are two type of changes. One is a materialistic changes and another is a non-materialistic changes. So whatever changes happens in the society, this is called social change, right? Next, we discuss what is the nature and characteristics of a social change. Social change is a universal phenomena. Always remember, every society changes. This is a universal phenomena. ऐसा नहीं है कि change इंडिया में होता है, अमेरिका में नहीं हो रहा. There is also change in America. There is also change in Canada. There is also change in India and other societies. Next is social change is community change. Community means public change. When there is a change in the public life, this is called a social change. Third point is that speed of social change is not uniform. ठीक है, यूनिफॉर्म का मतलब होता है फिक्स्ड. The speed of social change is not fixed. In some society, there is a change at a very high speed, right? Very high speed. But in some society, there is a change in a very low speed. Okay, sometime high in society, sometime low in society. Hence, therefore, social change is not uniform. Fixed या uniform नहीं होता, continuous होता है. ये I think this point is clear to you. Social change is a continuous change. ठीक है, next आ गया. Social change results from the interaction of number of factors. Yes. So guys, always you have to remember, whenever any changes happens in the society, it is not caused by only single factor. There are many factors behind that social change, right? Next, social change may be planned or unplanned. Sometimes social change planned hota hai, sometimes social change unplanned hota hai. I give you the example. For example, the government of any country, they are giving the a subsidy to the poor people, like say 5,000 every month to the poor people. Okay, so when government of any country is giving 5,000 rupees to the poor people, so what is happening? Poor people, they are rising their standard of living. There is a social change. Such kind of a social change is called planned change. Okay, and what is a unplanned social change? Unplanned social change means, suppose there is a earthquake comes, flood comes, natural calamities come, natural disasters comes. So whenever such kind of a situations comes in any of the country, there is also a change. So such kind of a change is called unplanned change, right? Social change is a multi-causal. I have just discussed the change is not by any single factor, it is a multi-causal. And last is that social change creates chain reaction. Always remember, chain reactions create karta hai social change. Example I have written. For example, the economic independence of women. If the female of our country, if they gets the economic independence, so economic independence brought the change not only in their status but also a series of changes in home, family, relationship, marriages. तो काफी सारी changes आ जाती हैं, right? तो social change क्या करता है? It creates a chain reaction. Next, we discuss what are the factors which are influencing, what are the factors which are affecting social change या cultural change, right? So first we discuss about natural factor. So natural factors, you have seen that, many earthquakes, floods, natural disasters, they have changed the economy of the country, है ना? you know uh, uh, in 1935 there was a huge bomb attack in Nagasaki by the America in Japan, right? So due to the natural factors, that was a planned, but some unplanned kind of social changes that affects that particular country. Next is a cultural factors. Cultural factor is also responsible for the social change. Okay, for example, you have seen that our Indian society, okay, is adopting the Western culture. What is happening? What is happening? Cultural change. There is a change to such kind of a factors. Cultural factors affects the social change also, right? Next is psychological factor. Okay, how the psychological factor is responsible for the social change. You have seen that like change is a law of a nature. Sometimes change in the mood, change in the tendencies, you know because every person wants that, they want to get the success, right? So what is happening inside of an individual, okay, there is a change. So psychological factor also brings the social change. Okay, it is also responsible for the social change, because gone are the days कि राजा का बेटा ही राजा होता था, right? Economic growth, yes, this is a everyone know that economic growth से social change आता ही है. When any country is growing economically, so there is a change. There is a change in the people of the country, they will rise their standard of uh, living standard, huh? So economic growth is also a uh, factor responsible for the social change. Next है demographic factor of a social change. Demographic factor होता है population factor. याद रखना, always you have to remember population factor या demographic factor is also responsible for the social change. Because of that, in any of the developed country, you have seen that they have the less population. If any of the country they have the population explosion या more population, so they cannot get developed, right? So the change is very positive level of a change that does not come in that country. So demographic factor is also responsible for the social change. Technological, next is technological and scientific factors. These are also responsible for the social change. You have seen that any of the country, like Japan and these countries, these are countries are known for the technology. So due to these technology factors, they have become the rich as compared to other countries. So technology and scientific factors is also responsible for the social change. Political factors, yes, political factor is also responsible influencing the social change, because you have seen that if we are, suppose we are putting in the Punjab, and Punjab is run by the some of the leaders, if they leaders, if they are the honest, okay, so definitely there would be a good change. Okay, we will go towards the uh, towards the success, towards the developed. So political factor also influences the social change. Ideological factor, the same point, education. Education is the important medium for bringing the social change. War, you have seen that. I've given the example of a 1935, when America started giving the starting attacking to the Japan and others. तो इनसे भी क्या होता है, तो social change आते हैं. तो these are the factors that are responsible for the social change. If the questions comes, what are the factors about the cultural change, so you can write these factors also, right guys? Next we discuss role of education in social change. Ab, what is the role of education in bringing social change? So role of education का क्या है? Number one, how the education becomes a factor of social change. First, assistance in changing attitudes. It is a educations, you have to remember, by which हमारा जो attitude है वो change होता है, right? Assistance in creating desire for change. Okay, when the more we will become educate, the more we will think that there should be a change. Okay, more we should get success. Third is assisting in adopting social change. So always you have to remember, education से ही एक adjustment आता है. Okay, आपने you have seen that any uneducated persons या illiterate persons, so they are very rigid. Okay, as compared to educated persons, there should be a change. Overcoming resistance to change. Okay, sometimes there is a blind faith in our mind. So it is a education को कहा जाता है ना, education is the third eye of the man. So with the help of education, such kind of a resistance removes होते हैं और education change लेके आती है. Analysis in change. So with the help of the educations, we develop our intelligence power. We come to know that what is right or wrong. Okay, तो ये भी change लेके आती है. Educations का ये जो point है, analysis in change. Leadership in social change. Able leaders can be produced only through the education. Guys, क्योंकि अगर हमारे leaders ही best नहीं होंगे, तो आपको मालूम ही है, तो what will happen, right? So leaders in social change, leaders they are the cause for the social change. Good leaders for the cause of the social change, and good leaders are produced by the educations. And from that way, education brings the social change, right? National integrations and national development, right? It is due to the education we will come to know about the national integrations or international national development. Otherwise, what will happen? Suppose we are living in the Punjab, we will love the people of the Punjab. We will not love the people of the South and Kerala people and the Haryana people. Okay. So when we are studying in the schools and colleges, there is a lot of competitions. We have to go to the tours and travels. Okay, we will come to the come to know that the culture of the other states and others. We become the friends. So national integration, national development. इनके कारण ये हमारे अंदर भावना पैदा हो जाती है और from that way changes comes, right? So these are the factors, points, role of educations by bringing the social change, right guys? Next we discuss about the cultural change. So one topic we have done that, the topic was social change and cultural change. Social change we are done, now we are doing the cultural change. Cultural change ko, before starting this topic, cultural change, we have to understand about the culture. Because in my previous topics, I talked a lot about the society, sociology, right? Here, under the cultural change, we talk about the culture. Culture kya cheez hoti hai? Yes, what is the culture? Culture, basically, it is derived from the Latin word culere, which means to cultivate, right? Culture क्या होता है guys? Culture basically customs, beliefs, morals, rituals, ceremonies, legacy, heritage. This is called culture, right? And here you have to remember one thing. Okay, you cannot see the culture. If you have to see the culture, you have to see the culture with the eye of society. You can write this thing. You can see the culture, admit, okay, you can see the culture with the eye of society. You cannot see the culture. Culture is a non-materialistic thing. I have explained 10 minutes before. So culture के बारे में, according to the Taylor has given the complete definition of culture, which you have to remember. What the Taylor says that culture as that complex whole, including knowledge, belief, art, law, morals, customs, and any other capability and habits acquired by a man as a member of society, right? यानी कि जो भी belief system है, rituals है, ceremonies है, जो भी हम adopt करते हैं as a member of the society, this is called a culture, right? थोड़ा हम culture को और understand करते हैं. We discuss about nature of and characteristics of culture, right? What is the nature of culture and what are the features, characteristics of the culture? So guys, you always have to remember culture is a social, right? Matlab culture does not exist individually. Culture always exists in the society, right? You can say it is a product of society. Okay. Sister Shanti has joined. Okay. Culture is a learned behavior, right? You can learn the culture. You have seen the example. Many of the persons, when they adopt the culture of a, another person's, another country. So what is happening? Culture is a learned behavior. You can learn about the culture. Culture is all encompassing, surrounding में है हमारे culture, right? Culture is transmitted. So culture is always transmitted from generation to generation. I have given you the example of education. The purpose of education, the function of education is to transmit the culture from one generation to another generation. Culture is a transmitted, because in today we are into 2021. We are celebrating the Diwali, we are celebrating the Dashera, we are celebrating the, lot of things. That why? Because Diwali, Dashera, or Eid, and yeah, it happens long years back. But due to the culture, we remember today. What is the motive behind the Diwali? What is the motive behind the other things, other national festivals? Because of the culture, because of the uh, 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 transmission of the culture, as in nature of the culture, right? Culture varies from society to society. Yes, this is another characteristics here. Nature of the culture is that it varies from society to society. There are a lot of societies in the world, and every society has its different type of culture, and culture is dynamic. Always remember, culture is not a fixed, it has the flexibility. ठीक है, डायनामिक होता है ये कल्चर. ओके, नेक्स्ट देखिए, a number of a sociologist has classified the culture in two types: material culture and non material culture. I have explained you, right? Material culture क्या होता है? What is the kind of a material culture? You can see, right? Suppose any bank, any road, any monuments, any school, colleges, furniture. So such kind of a culture you can see. This is called material culture. But some kind of a culture you cannot see. These are called non-material culture, like blind faith. You cannot see the faith. Huh? You cannot see the faith. You cannot measure the faith. You cannot see the ritual ceremonies. You cannot measure the ritual ceremonies. Okay, such kind of a culture is non-materialistic culture, right? You have to remember, materialistic cultures are of two types. One is material culture and one is non-material culture. Okay, now you have understood about the material culture and non-material cultures. So now my questions, my topic comes cultural lag, right? Cultural lag क्या होता है? What is a cultural lag? So according to the Ogburn, Ogburn क्या कहते हैं? When there is a imbalance between the in the rate and speed of two type of a culture, material culture and non-material culture, वो जो difference होता है rate का, speed का, this is called cultural lag, right? Changes जो होती हैं, they are quick in the form of a material culture, but it takes lot of time to change in the non-material culture. और इन दोनों के बीच में जो gap होता है, this is called the cultural lag, right guys? You can read this example. Changes are quick to take place in the material culture. These in turn stimulate changes in the non-material culture, but the non-material culture may be slow to respond, giving rise to gap or lag between the material and non-material culture. Or this lag, this gap is called the cultural lag. This is the important you have to remember, right? I've given you one example also. For example, a good number of Indians have adopted Western technology, but they have not changed their traditions, belief, and customs, right? Suppose we talk about ourselves, we have used, we have adopted, many of the Western things, but some of our traditionals, we have the belief, we have the customs. Okay, we cannot forget, huh? So ये जो लैग होता है बिटवीन द स्पीड ऑफ एक मटेरियल कल्चर एंड नॉन मटेरियल कल्चर, इस लैग को, इस गैप को बोलते हैं कल्चरल लैग, राइट गाइस? अब हम डिस्कस करते हैं कल्चरल चेंज, राइट? अब कल्चरल चेंज क्या होता है? Cultural change is a concept that denotes some internal and external factors leading to change in the cultural pattern of society. Cultural change is a very a vast area to explore. It refers to changes made in cultural elements, both material and non-material. We have just discussed. Okay. Horton and Hunt क्या कहते हैं? Changes in the culture of society is called cultural change. Okay. So whatever, because cultural change and social change, guys, you have to remember these are very closely connected with each other. Okay. Right. So whatever the changes occurs in the society, आप उसको कल्चरल चेंज तो कहना ही कहना है, सोशल चेंज भी उसको आप कह सकते हैं, लेकिन दोनों में बड़ा ही माइन्यूटली डिफरेंस है, राइट? अनलाइक इन केस ऑफ ए सोशल चेंज, in cultural change, ideological transformation takes place. Yes, when there is a change in kind of a ideological transformation, this is called cultural change. Okay, और अगर वैसे चेंज आ रहा है मटीरियलिस्टिक चीजों में, दिस इज कॉल्ड सोशल चेंज, राइट? The impact of technology, ideology, new practices and lifestyles can lead to the cultural change, right guys? Now we discuss the questions. Okay, now we are done with the topic social change and cultural change. Ab what kind of a questions can come in the exams from this topic? Question can come, define the social change, explain the role of education in social change. Okay, so first you have to write about the social change, definition of the social change, then all the points which brings the, all the points of education which brings the social change. Okay, how the role of education in bringing the social change you have to explain in detail, and last may conclusion, right? And next question can come from this topic, social change and cultural changes. Define the cultural change, explain the role of education in cultural change. Okay, so in a cultural change you have to define the culture also, right? In cultural change mein, okay, what are the nature and characteristics of the culture? You have to define the materialistic culture and non-materialistic culture. Okay, you have to define the cultural lag also in a cultural change way, and then you have to define the role of education in cultural change. And when we talk about the short answers questions of 3 marks, it can come, define cultural change and what is the difference between social change and cultural change, right? तो यहाँ पर मैंने what is the difference between social change and cultural change? Cultural, when there is a change in ideological transformations, ये देखिए last slide में, in cultural change and ideological transformation takes place. So cultural change में what happens? Ideological transformation change place. This is called cultural change. Okay, and वो cultural change मतलब mostly you talk about, I'm talking about non-materialistic culture. Okay, when non-materialist, when change in the non-materialistic culture, this is called the cultural change. And when there is a change in the materialistic, this is called the social change. Right guys? So in difference between social change and cultural change mein, this thing you have to write. Right guys? So we are done with the second topic, social change and cultural change. Right guys? Thank you so much. Okay guys. Yes.